Hi, everybody. Welcome to Two Dudes, One Garage. My name is Leo.
And this is Alex.
And today I have for you Elijah Craig. You can pretty much find it in any grocery store or a liquor store or a Bevmo or any place that sells alcohol. It's pretty much a small batch Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's a 94 proof, which pretty much means 47% alcohol. It's, charged to the oak barrel, so they made in a true small batch for small balance and smoothness. I don't know how small these batches are, but because they have tons of bottles everywhere, but
Smallish batch,
smallish, but anyways,
it's good.
Yeah, it's delicious and it's a hitter, man. It really
Recommend
it soothes the soul. All right,
I will say I have a whiskey collection. And out of all of them, the barrel proof, like the uncut whatever of this, like the 60-70%, where they don't dilute it down, is amazing. I can't even see what I'm doing.
that was a good pour.
There you go.
I can't let y'all do me though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
bottoms up.
whoops. Yeah, so we're just trying some stuff. I know I showed this beer off also. So there's Elijah Craig. I know I showed this one off in our last one, but we didn't actually get to it because we were talking about more important things, but we're going to get to that one. So you want to start us off here with the crypto, more digital news for you?
Yeah, so we're just going to go into some more digital news that we're,
For the dome.
Yeah, for the Thunder Dome. You know what I mean? We're just trying to, we're the Thunder Garage. I mean, we're in a garage. But like, oh, shit, yeah. See? Cheers.
Pretty mellow. It's a
little
little toasted.
Yeah, you can taste the oak barrel for sure.
The char, caramel, vanilla.
Yeah, the flavors really come out, especially when it's warm. It like really touches your soul. Like I said, like it really holds. It's like when you're
Warm hug.
Exactly. In other words, like you're cold and like you just take a sip of this and you just feel like the ghost of Elijah Craig just comes and just hugs you. And says, "Hey, it's gonna be all right, man."
I mean, I don't know about girls or girlfriends, but I know about whiskey giving me a warm hug. In the past. Better times in life. Just kidding.
Right on. All right, so I pulled up coinmarketbag.com. They have an article real quick that talks about Comey and Gary Vee are, so he's very bullish on Veve. Which Comey is Veve. Comey is the token that runs Veve. So he's a influencer, motivational speaker, and I really like his stuff. Like when you look at his videos on Instagram or YouTube, he always comes up to you. Like the video clips are always like you're 30 years old, but you're still young. You know what I mean? Like you can still do great things and stuff like that. Like that's very motivational because like I'm in that age, and it's like, like, so what if you f***ed up when you're in your 20s? Like you can still make it up. And he's very motivational. He's like, your parents for not letting you, build your NFTs or your invest in crypto or whatever, or follow your dreams, them, because you're going to be rich and you're going to be successful. Like I like to hear that kind of stuff. And he's really good as far as motivational speakers. He owns Recur. He's one of the investors in Recur, which is a direct competitor to Veve. They do have a couple NFTs. I really haven't followed up on their licensing as far as intellectual property that they have. Nowhere near what Veve has.
But it sounds like he's been around for a long time. Probably Bitcoin, whatever.
Yeah, no, he's very knowledgeable in Bitcoin, Ethereum layering, and he also likes to talk about how like being blockchains win. So if you're in a good blockchain like Ethereum, you're gonna win. Right. You're on a Go chain, you're gonna lose. You know what I mean? Like this is the kind of things he talks about. For sure. But and he's very educated in finances and everything. He's a really smart man. So this pretty much says Gary Vee addresses areas. So he was interviewed by Dan Schwabel and in his podcast, and
Who's Dan?
Dan, he's a YouTuber he interviews famous people. He interviews artists, anybody, authors, anybody famous. Like he's got A-list celebrities on his podcast and stuff like that. And he's also a huge collector in physical and digital as far as Veve. He's really bullish on Veve.
The American dream.
Yep. You know, he's part of I'm part of a Facebook group, and he's part of that also, and we're very thankful to have him on there as far as our supporting. And he has a large network of followers that know about Veve because of him, and he talks about it, promotes it. Really thankful to have him. And he interviews them, and they're talking about, you know, blockchains, and they're talking about NFTs, because, you know, Gary Vee's been talking about NFTs since like 2017. Like, he has his own NFT also project where he has his own little drawings, and he sells those NFTs for high premium in ETH. And he offers an hands-on like interview. Like you buy his NFT and you can schedule a one-on-one interview with him, and like you pretty much buying the NFT for his time and guidance. Yeah, so it's like really cool. It's a really neat concept.
They're just gonna love people that are around for decades.
Yeah,
Like
in crypto, yeah.
They're gonna know a lot.
They're gonna know a lot. They're gonna been through a lot, and it's experience,
And
man.
they know generally where things are going.
Yeah, like I said, ETH $80,
Yeah.
ETH $2,300.
ETH was $10.
You think you're early, but you could be. This could be early. $2,300 could be early, but there was earlier. There was earlier.
Has somewhere to go. It's crazy.
Yeah. So onward with this. This is a response article here of a video where he was interviewed, and they were asked about, you know, what do you think about Veve and digital collectibles? And he keeps saying that like 99% of these projects are gonna go away because they don't have a use case or a licensing. They're just a fad that people are investing money. And Dan, he brings up, you know, Veve on his phone. He's like, what do you think about Veve? And like their licensing, like tons of licensing. He's like, you know what? I'll be honest. I don't know much about it. I haven't spent time looking into it, but I mean, I think they have something going on with like IMX, and like they're trying to get to layer 1. They're layer 2 now, but if they get layer 1, they're going to be a serious competitor, and it's going to be that time for me to invest hours and hours of research into Veve. Right. But he doesn't really like acknowledge it as a pretty much the #1 platform where you can easily access NFTs without opening up a MetaMask and buying ETH. You can just straight up just buy gems on the Apple Store, and you own a digital asset. Right. And the accomplishments as far as Disney and you know Marvel and all that stuff.
You know more than Gary Vee.
Yeah, I mean, no, he knows. He knows. No,
he knows now.
Hey, I know he knows. People that know that he knows. Okay. But yeah, there's another thing. You know, you have your side hustle, you have your business. Right. You know, you can't. Make it public. You also have exactly. You have to understand he's a man that has, you know, tons of followers. You know what I mean? And if he has a business that he's trying to promote, and he's talking about this other business, like it can get, you know.
I understand. I have 22 followers, bro.
Yeah, dude. It can get very, very interesting with investors, and everyone's like, "Hey, man, why are you talking about this other company when you were working?" You know, I don't want to get into it. Right. I'm just saying there's a lot at stake for him. So, but then and there's a lot of fire. He was getting a lot of fire shots at him on his social media for that interview. So he posted up a quick video talking about how, like, you know, I'm not trying to talk down on Veve, but I'm just trying to tell you where I'm at with Veve.
And he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
And that's good.
And he doesn't know. But if you know, you know. So, yeah, we're early.
And I think that's very fair. Like, if he's being honest or not, because he just doesn't want to share his investments. If you don't know, that's what you should say. Don't pretend like you know everything or this thing sucks, where you look really stupid later when it's great, you know? So always be honest in that sense of, I don't know this project. There's so many projects. I feel like I learn about so much stuff, and there's 15 other things. We're going to touch on one later that I think is interesting that I don't know anything about, you know? So there's too much. There's too much information.
Too much going on. Too much going on for the brain to comprehend. Yeah. Not enough time. And, you know, it's true. Like when you fall into a project and you're willing to invest, you know, a portion of your wealth or your life savings to a project, you need to do hours and hours of research. You need to convince yourself with data that this is a legit investment, because you don't want to be caught in a rug pull where you invest. You wake up one day and $1, out of your tens of thousands of dollars you've been invested in. Yeah. That's just a bad feeling. So I see where he's coming from. Yeah. But yeah, he really just wanted to clear his name into this whole thing. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. So Cointelegraph.com has this article that states 70% of U.S. crypto holders started investing in 2021. That's as far as their reports. 46% of responders reported that having $1,000 or less in crypto, while another 25% said they held between $1,000 to $10,000 in crypto. So pretty much they're stating that half of their interviewees have at least $1,000 in crypto, and 25% of their interviewees had $1,000 to $10,000, which I think that's a great number.
This is within the last year of investing.
Last year. So that's why we're seeing these new bottoms. We're seeing a lot of money poured into it. So a lot of people, like the early adopters, made a lot of money. They cashed out. The people that, entered in, now we have a new bottom. We have a new bottom because we have more hodlers out there. They understand crypto. It's here to stay, and they understand their use cases. The vast majority of crypto owners in the United States made its first ever crypto investment just within the last year, according to the new survey. About 70% of crypto hodlers in the U.S. started investing in cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, BTC, in 2021, according to the Crypto Perception Report 2022 by Qob Group. The operations of major crypto exchanges. Qob, the company, polled about 3,100 American adults in the mid-December 2021 to access response knowledge in crypto, what they think about the crypto market rise in 2021. So I think Qob Group is like a survey company or something like that.
It's also a crypto exchange.
Is it? Okay, so it's a crypto exchange. Okay, so they pulled numbers on their platform users, and they're pretty much looking at like what was our growth in 2021, and that's the numbers they came up with. They came up with this number.
It's pretty significant
in the U.S. Yeah, 3,100 people, man, investing at least $1,000 to $10,000 is a pretty good amount. The survey found 68% of the responders got their first crypto exposure within the last year, while another 21% of those started investing in crypto up to 2 years ago. 12% of the responders made their first crypto investment within 4 years, while 9% began investing in crypto more than 4 years ago. So yeah, these numbers are really huge. I mean, 68% of the people they interviewed invested last year, and only 9% invested a few years back.
Right.
Wow, that's huge, man. What do you think, bro?
Well, we were kind of talking about under 20% of people are invested in crypto, and 70% started this year. I mean, that's pretty dang significant. I mean, if you extrapolate that out the next couple of years, I mean, it's still going to take a while before you get to like 50 or 75, 80% of people just generally acceptance of crypto. It's good. If you really look at the number that under 20% of people overall are into crypto, it's going to take a long time to get that mass adoption up, but that means you're really on the edge of the early side of the early scale. You're not the super early, but you're definitely early. It's definitely a good time to be making some money or setting some long-term investments down, I think. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a better opportunity. What do you think?
Yeah. So it's kind of like going on a time machine. You know, you get to see the all-time highs that crypto has potential of doing, and you're kind of at the all-time highs like, man, I wish I would have invested more before. I wish I would have known. And now that wish has become a reality. I mean, it's not as low as it once was at the beginning, like 4 years ago or 3 years ago, or even a year ago, but it's as low as it's going to get. That's my thoughts on that.
Right. You can see the obvious trajectory as mass adoption happens if we're under 20%. Let's like say that every poll is wrong and we're under like 30%. I mean, still like that's so good if you want to put money down and see the rest of society come after you. And as crypto gets more legitimate over the years and there is laws that make sense that bigger institutions pour money in, I mean, this stuff could be crazy. I mean, we're looking at $1 to $3 trillion market cap. What happens if all these really big investors, we got, 25 trillion, 100 trillion, what happens? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what's possible, but I think we're getting to a point within the next couple of years that this stuff is going to go just exponential, right? And I really think that.
Yeah, it's on its way. I think the only thing holding it back it's his use case as far as like usability. Like I can't just go into Walmart right now and be like, hey man, I got some XRP, take my XRP. You know, I mean, Walmart doesn't even have Apple Pay, so it's like the one I go to doesn't have Apple Pay. Okay, let me rephrase that. The one I go to, the Walmart that I go to, does not have Apple Pay, which is kind of frustrating because sometimes I forget my wallet and I have my phone. No one forgets their phone. People forget their wallets. So yeah, so like, what was I saying? So yeah, the use case in it, if it gets more accessible, the use case, the more usability, the more invested it's going to get, right. More money it's going to get flooded in,
But also legal.
But also legal is a big thing because there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines just making sure the government is okay because these huge multi-billion and multi-million dollar corporations don't want to get slapped with these like illegal things they're doing. They want to know it's safe, know it's okay before they jump in. So I think, within the next couple of years, all that's going to get the green light, and then we're going to see major, like there's always been big money last year, along with these new retail investors or smaller ones. We did get the first institutional investors. Well, I think there's going to be a lot more of that. So that's going to be exciting. I think we ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I picture. I mean, it's not going to happen, but I hope it happens, but it's probably not going to happen, but it will happen. But anyways, this is my thoughts on it. This is like, if I were to write a thesis, this is what it'd be like. Okay. So right now we're sitting at, Bitcoin, 36,000, Ethereum, 2,300. What happens when Bitcoin's at the bottom? We're talking about the bottom, 100,000, and Ethereum's at 10 to 20,000 bottom. Like, what are the all-time highs going to go to that? Like, what are we doing like at that point?
I think another big hindrance, and this is something I kind of wanted to touch on last couple podcasts, but like the whole Metamask thing, it's okay and people use it, but I think it has market dominance because there's not a lot of other options to get your crypto onto a decentralized exchange. And some people might not even know what I'm talking about, but basically, you have all these regular, more fiat exchanges like Coinbase and Binance and all this stuff, and then you have decentralized exchanges, and there's just not a lot of options. There's a few, but at the end of the day, MetaMask, a lot of people use it, and I touched on this before, but the whole browser wallets, I don't feel super comfortable, number one, because they want a lot of permissions to a lot of your data. They also say they can sell whatever, but then they can change anything at any time. And like you give them a lot of exceptions. You can go through the settings and turn all that stuff off, which I recommend if you want to use it. But then also, there's just not a lot of great alternatives. I think Trust Wallet's okay and probably actually one of the best options, but there's a lot of things going on, and I don't know everything, but I definitely think the lack of a super secure, safe wallet that we can be confident, have confidence in. Who's the guy that's putting $50,000 to like $500,000 in Ethereum into MetaMask and moving it into a decentralized platform? Like, I want to know that guy, and then I want to like, do you understand your risk tolerance, sir? That is so sketchy. If you get hacked or something, that stuff is gone. And some people are making outrageous, absurd amounts of money in DeFi, but I don't think they also understand like the risk upside that they are taking just because there's not a lot of secure options, if I'm making sense. So I really hope that we see that change within the next, I don't know, whenever somebody comes up with a better product or there's a demand for a better product within a year or two, because, or MetaMask to tighten up, become something very reputable. But I do think we're just touching on the hindrances of why crypto hasn't boomed yet completely, and that's a big one to me. We're getting there. We'll get there eventually, but we're not there yet. So
yeah, very true. Security is number one, man. Security is number one. Well, who wants to lose their money to a hacker, to a company that's shady. You know, there's tons of stories. That's a reason, number one reason why I didn't get into crypto back in 2014, 2015 when I first heard about it, because you're like, oh, you buy here, you know, you got to wire money here, you got to transfer it here. And by the way, where you bought it at, you need to get it out of there as soon as possible, because you don't know if the people that are running the thing's gonna steal your money and
Get it out while you can.
Yeah, get it out while you can, man. Or you got to have a hard drive. Like you didn't have a wallet, you had to keep your stuff in a hard drive. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. People that were mining had to keep their stuff in a hard drive, and it was like you would, you know, try to buy crypto from somebody. It's like you're doing a drug deal. You're like, you got the hard drive, you got the money, yeah, all right, cool, let's do this. You know what I mean? It was super sketch. I know a guy that started off crypto back in like 2012, 2014, and he would tell me some stories. I actually need to get in contact with him because I really want to get some more stories. I mean, this guy was mining back in 2012, mining, dude. And he told me this quick story. Like he quick, you know, I got to talk to him for like maybe an hour or so and we got into it. But he would tell me, he's like, yeah, we would mine. We'd have a garage and we just have like tons of miners going. And like, you know, back then, like Bitcoin was like $20 or whatever. And like we would mine as much as we could. And the only way we can turn it into fiat would be like going to these people's houses and buying it off these people. And like they were sketchy individuals. They weren't wearing suits, I'll tell you that much. Yeah. And it was like, you got the Bitcoin, you got the money, yeah, all right, cool. And you know, it was super sketchy environment. Nowadays it's so easy and professional. You go in, you just go online and you do it, and it's very secure. You know, you have Binance is pretty secure. Coinbase ultimately secure. You know, you didn't have that back then, you know.
Yeah. Well, if we're talking about the Wild West now, I mean, that's like the double Wild West. It's like, I can't even imagine.
That was uncharted territory.
I think some people's brains are just so wired for innovative and interesting things that they can see it. And they're like, I'm willing to take the risk of just walking into anyone's garage. We have a very reputable garage. It's great. But yeah, some dingy, not lit, you know, somebody's doing some weird stuff in the corner. You never know what you're going to get walking into somebody else's house, right? But I don't know. I don't think a lot of people would be comfortable, but there's always higher risk, higher reward, right? Like at the end of the day, some of the people really see it. I have a funny story because I was in a hiking class and this girl was, "Are you into crypto? It's a new kind of money." I might have talked about this before. What are you talking about? She was also kind of hippie. And I'm like, why? Well, it turns out her boyfriend was like mining crypto. He was an engineer brain. How could I have seen that coming, right? But I was like hanging out their house and I'm like looking at the machine, 2013. That's interesting. But you have no mental grid for it the first couple times. They say you have to see some 5 to 10 times to even consider doing something. And it just wasn't out there. So unless you search it out, you're not thinking about Bitcoin in 2013, whatever. So yeah. Funny stuff. I guess everybody has a friend that knew something about something once, but you know, it's like a myth and a legend at this point, right?
And you blow them off, man. You blow them off. You're like, well, yeah, why? This is a crazy idea, and I don't know where they are now, but I hope they're wealthy.
Doing great.